Hi there, welcome to my vlog. In this vlog I will be looking at the clean and jerk, and the movement will be demonstrated by an athlete that I coach. This is the first time that this athlete has performed the clean and jerk. Therefore, prior to performing a full lift, the various components of the lift were trained. As you can see from the first few clips of this accomplished lifter performing the clean and jerk, it is evident that there's many components to the movement. In the next few clips we will look at my athlete performing some mobility work at home. For this athlete in particular, some ankle and thoracic mobility were key focuses. The aim here is to improve ankle dorsiflexion and thoracic mobility to improve the receiving position of the clean and jerk. This athlete also suffers from a slight knee valgus, which again could be due to a lack of mobility in the ankle. Here we can see the athlete using a lunge and twist, looking to improve her thoracic rotation and mobility, which leading into the clean and jerk will hopefully help her remain in a more upright position in the receiving phase. In this clip you can see the improvements from day 1 to 2 weeks on in her goblin squat. The bottom of this movement looking very much like the receiving position in the clean and jerk. The elbows inside the knees here, pushing the knees out over the midfoot, preventing knee valgus. Following on from the mobility work, I assigned my athlete some glute activation, again with the aim of improving the knee valgus. During the clean and jerk, when we go through the jump phase, we're looking to triple extend the hips using the hip extensors, the glutes being a key part in this part of the movement. Here we are looking to activate the muscles prior to the lift to ensure that the glute muscles are firing correctly. So here we have the athlete performing a step down, and this highlights the slight valgus of the knee which we're looking to eradicate. This exercise now utilises all the components we've been working on prior to the lift. Lastly, here we work on a catching position with the elbows high. The aim working with this athlete was to build stable attractor states for each phase of the clean and jerk before completing a full repetition, as this was the athlete's first time performing this lift. The first phase we focused on was the jump phase with the shrug. Here you can see slight knee valgus on the initial jump. We're looking to extend through the hips, knees and ankles in triple extension while shrugging with the bar. Coming into the second pull, you can see here the athlete begins the pull with the elbows rather than using the extension of the hips. In this repetition, you can see that the hip, knee and ankle triple extension is much greater, therefore the upward momentum is put into the bar and less of a pull with the elbows is needed. The red circle here highlights the elbows are dropped quite low in the receiving position, and ideally we'd like to get them a little bit higher. Further improvements in shoulder mobility would aid with this positioning. In the next clips, we'll focus here on the movement of the bar. The transition here from jump to second pull, the athlete loses tension through the upper back, the bar travels away from the vertical line of the body. Keeping tension through the lats here would aid the movement of the bar, coming away from that vertical line and scooping back towards the centre. The 3 lines here highlight the movement of the torso in the first pull. Here the athlete initiates the movement with a lift of the hips followed by a lift of the shoulders. To correct this, we cued initiating the lift with an extension of the knees, enabling the athlete to keep a constant trunk angle with the floor. This being the first time the athlete combined pull 1 right the way through to pull 2, she misses the rep due to lack of triple extension of the hip, ankle and knee and fear of the lift compared to the second attempt which she completes. Elbow position here before getting into the jerk movement is very low. Ideally the athlete needs to lift the elbows higher. Finally, we test the athlete here to perform the full lift from first pull through to the jerk. The yellow lines highlighting a good starting position for the first pull with the shoulders over the bar. As previously discussed, torso position remains constant with the floor. Coming into the transition phase, a similar malfunction occurs that we saw previously in the video. The lack of tension in the lats causing the bar to travel away from the body, the lift being initiated with elbow pull. Over time, the athlete here needs to focus on the triple extension of the knee, hip and ankle, putting upward momentum into the bar. Working on the goblin squats previous to training has enabled the athlete to sit quite low into that receiving position. Verbal cues were used here to drive the knees outwards, avoiding knee valgus. Finishing in a good jerk position here, although the athlete could step into a larger lunge. Good shoulder mobility is exhibited with the bar landing over the crown of the head. Lastly, attention to small detail would make this lift more efficient over time. aggressively attacking the triple extension of the hip, putting more upward momentum into the bar, and driving the elbows upward, sitting deeper into the receive position.